Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the Cinematic Trinity. I'm Tulip.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Kieran.
We're trying something a little bit different today. We're filming this alone, which is a little bit odd. We don't really have the best setup in the world, I would say, but we'll
give it a try.
Yeah, we can see if we can put sort of this on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about Pussinboots. We've just come back not too long ago from seeing Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is obviously the new film that's just been put out. But we thought we'd talk about the first one and the second one. So we've all recently I'd never seen the first one because I just heard that it wasn't that good.
I saw it when I was a lot younger when it came out in the cinema, and it was alright. I mean, nothing too memorable. I kind of forgot there was like a Puss in Boots film.
Yeah.
When the sequel got announced, they're doing another one, are they?
Yeah, I remember hearing it come out, but I never actually did anything with it at the time.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Yeah, it was nice to be able to go back and watch it before this new one, I think.
Yeah. It was certainly not like better than I expected, and it was really good, but it wasn't like awful like I was expecting it to just be just utter rubbish,
Yeah, I think in my mind
Yeah.
I thought, I'm pretty sure I went to go see it and it was really bad, but then watching it, it's just your average, like
it's
just average, isn't it?
average.
Nothing too.
I mean, you've got to take it kind of with a pinch of salt as well, because it is a kids' film.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
It's not striving to be the best thing in the world either. So yeah, I think for what it is, I think it does a good job. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
You'll hear a dog under the table, and
You
hear a ball dropping.
Yeah. Right. So the first film we had to Google, didn't we? But it's set before the first Shrek.
It is a prequel.
I mean, it is
yes.
a prequel to
Yeah.
Shrek. It's got nothing to do with it. It's his origin story, really, of
Yeah,
how he
yeah.
becomes Puss in Boots. How he gets the boots and how he gets the hat, because it
The
does.
miracle story.
Well,
magic
it's true.
boots.
It is true. He does go through his origin story.
Yes, yeah,
and
he
how
gets the
his
boots like in the first 20 minutes of the story.
Yeah, he does. But it's weird because it's like the film starts and it goes through this, sequence of I can't remember what's happening.
it's
He's
sort
in
of
that
like-
bar, isn't he?
He's sort of pre-established as like an outlaw from like the beginning, and then like again like
It goes back again.
Yeah, like half an hour
Back
later it's in a
again to
flashback.
where he first meets. So like he's not all. There's the twist in it, isn't it? But it's all to do with him and Humpty Dumpty, which I just couldn't get over the fact that it was Humpty Dumpty, because I hate like stupid words. I say this all the time,
Yes,
where
yeah.
like I hate like Roald Dahl and like all the stupid
hate that
words that he makes up. Like I just can't bear it.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Humpty Dumpty is just like I can't say it because it's just so ridiculous.
You can't really come up with
I
like an
just-
abbreviation, like let's call him like hump.
Well, people kept calling him
HD.
Well, people kept calling him Humpty. Oh, Humpty. Oh, and it's like you can't be sad when your name's Humpty.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if my name was Humpty? Like, that'd be just complete nonsense.
Yeah.
So anyway, that just took me out of it immediately. Plus
Yeah.
the sort of the character model, would you call it?
Design probably.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah, it was a little bit strange. I think the start of it was quite slow
Yeah.
for
yeah.
me. It took a little while to get into it. I think up until they met Jack and Jill.
Yeah, because I guess like the principal plot
Yeah.
is Puss in Boots is there. Humpty Dumpty sort of calls on him to like pull off this like heist almost to get magic beans, because
Yeah.
it's been Humpty Dumpty and Puss's dream to basically go get the golden eggs from the golden goose that lives in the clouds, which you can only access through the beanstalk, the magic
Yeah,
beans
the magic
create.
beans.
So they go to Jack and Jill from the nursery rhyme.
Who are husband and wife.
Yeah, I thought they were brother
I
and
thought
sister.
they were
in it.
brother and
Brother and
sister,
sister.
but they might still be brother and sister because
Well,
they did
I
look pretty
Well,
messed
I
up, didn't
thought
they?
know.
they might have been brother and sister, but also husband and wife.
Yeah, I don't
That's the sort of
think
vibe.
DreamWorks is going to tackle incest in its.
Well, I mean, they may have
I-
already done it and just gone. We'll just gloss over that.
Yeah, you kind of think about, because the first time they're introduced, it's basically this like two intimidating characters, and then they're like, "I want to have kids, Jack," and you're like, "I'm pretty sure they were brother and sister in the nursery
Yeah.
rhyme. What's going on?" And then they kept talking about it. So it's like, again, they must be husband and wife.
I think that's
They
really-
look very similar. Though.
They
Yeah,
are the same.
They kind of look
but,
similar,
you know.
and then they're kind of going for this, like, I guess, like, kind of hillbilly, like, vibe of them as well. Because then, like, I want to have kids. Oh, well, we got these pigs, you know, these warthogs, so they're our kids.
They've got the war.
Yeah, they steal the beans. They go up the beanstalk. They find the goose, which is like this baby goose that lays all the golden eggs. They take it down.
They take the baby goose, don't they?
They take it down to the village, or no, they take it down the beanstalk, and then the twist is that they go back to like the village where Puss in Boots originally got like exiled from because he pulled off like a robbery unintentionally with Humpty and got like exiled.
Well, he got framed for it. Humpty framed because Humpty Dumpty and Puss in Boots were like partners in crime.
Yeah.
And then Puss in Boots became the hero for he ended up saving people.
He saved
and
the lead commander's wife, like the city watch like commander's wife or something. Yeah.
And then becomes the hero, and then Humpty's mad at him, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then it all circles back, and and the other cat's in it, isn't she?
Kitty Softballs.
That's a good scene. That's the very first scene, isn't it, where they go to the like.
I think that's about half an hour in because that's they go there.
Oh yeah,
and they meet Humpty there.
Yeah.
The initial bit.
That's the first scene that I remember.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I remember in like, the notes we made for this, I don't know why the film started with like Puss having like a one night stand, because it's like him.
Oh yeah,
with this other cat, and he's sort of leaving her while she's been like asleep, and it's like, well, what? I know it's like part of Puss's character is like he's like a ladies' man, or
a ladies' cat,
a ladies' cat. So it sort of starts with that, and then
there's in that scene though, I feel like why is this the only scene that I can remember where they're dancing and because that's when the cat is going. Oh, and that's like funny.
He hears about the beans, goes to steal it from Jack and Jill, and then Kitty Softballs is also trying to steal it from Jack and Jill. So then they chase, and then that's when they go to like a music bar run entirely by cats. And that was the thing that really confused me. It really confused me in this universe, because why can some cats talk and some cats can't talk?
A bit weird,
it's really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is Puss like in love with all these mute cats that can't say anything to him, because he always talks like the women. This is really weird.
He's saying this like because he said it in the new one. It's like the cat language was his second language.
That's it. So it's basically they either learn English or they speak cat. Or Spanish. They'll learn Spanish.
Puss knows three. He's well travelled.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there was like nice small things in this film. Like the whole film it was just pretty average. The story was average. The twist was nothing.
Well, the twist the twist is they go back to the village where they got exiled, and then basically Humpty is giving out the golden eggs and basically saying, oh yeah, I've just brought you here so you can get arrested for the robbery that they think you pulled off. And
so the twist is Humpty's working with Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
They're all working
together to get the magic beans and then frame Puss in Boots so that he sort of gets the graph. And then the other twist is Humpty Dumpty is actually one of the golden eggs.
It's all the twist, yeah.
And that's why he's so compelled to go to
it's not
magic land.
It's not really explained. It's just sort of
he falls off the cliff, he breaks, and is revealed as a golden egg. It's
all one of those bits where it's kind of alluded to, because Humpty's like, oh, I've always been an outsider all my life. Oh, I really want to go up this, I really want to go get the beans and get the magic eggs because I feel like that's my purpose. And then it's like, he kind of wanted to, or, he really did fit in the end because he was a golden egg.
He was actually a golden egg.
But then it's also like this thing of like, he's bad, but then Puss in Boots is always like, oh, I know you're a good egg on the inside.
Why are you trying to do the accent?
I don't know.
You're going to apply for Puss in Boots 3?
Yeah. When Antonio Banderas hangs up the roll.
Hangs up the boots.
hangs up the actual boots. But yeah, it's like this whole thing, and then it's like, oh no, he was good on the inside because he's golden on the inside, but I don't know. It's a bit of a weird. He's a weird villain. I didn't really.
He's a weird villain.
I think as far as like DreamWorks villains go, Humpty Dumpty is like lower. And especially when we get to talk on about Puss in Boots 2, he's definitely like at the bottom of the barrel, like in terms of like Shrek and DreamWorks villains as well. So
I just think that it was just unnecessary for him to have been working with Jack and Jill. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could have just made Jack and Jill the people that he was trying to get the eggs from, and him and Puss and Humpty were working together. I think just left it at that.
I think it kind of worked for a bit because it's sort of revealed they're all working together, but then towards the end, Jack and Jill betray Humpty Dumpty. So it's almost like you could have just done away with Jack and Jill, like they could have never been in the film again. But it's sort of like you can't do like a betrayal on top of a betrayal on like you can't just keep going for it.
I mean, yeah, well, you can, because that's the entire plot of like Oceans, isn't it?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oceans what?
Well, any like heist film
Any
is
of them.
always
Oh right.
Yeah, any heist film is always like
do you know what? I've never actually seen
I've
any.
only seen Ocean's 8, the female
Have you?
one. Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen,
that one I
I
couldn't watch it all.
I saw the first one. Was it Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
That one's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that George Clooney?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
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 Why
I
are
know.
you saying? Oh yeah.
Honestly,
It is when you've just
it's one of
admitted
his
you've
most
not watched
well-known
it.
movies. What can I say?
Goodness me.
But I guess in terms of like the comedy in this film, like did it land? I feel it was
I
like
feel
quite a
like
funny
it. Do you know
film.
what? As I say, there was a few little bits where the cat's going ooh, and the way Puss still drinks his
You mean
milk.
then you mean there's a cat that go? Not everyone in the film kept going ooh.
Every time a cat's on screen, they just go, ooh!
There was one cat.
Well, whenever anybody was like, roasting
Yeah,
the other cat went ooh, and I like the way that Puss in Boots will have a glass of milk but still go, and drink the milk like a cat would, rather than I don't know why that always made me laugh.
I think that's what they go for mostly is like because he's a cat, like he's still like he's not.
He's still
completely...
very much cat, isn't
Yeah,
he? Which
yeah.
I think is good. They could have been like, I know that it's already set up like in the Shrek films.
Yeah.
But it just like delves more deep
I-
into the fact that there's cats.
Yeah, I don't know whether you laughed like in the bar fight scene when it's them like fighting, and then like Puss in Boots just jumps. He's like, "Rrrr." It's like this. Like, it's just the position he makes in the air. You know what I mean? I like Lost Air. It's like when he jumps like from the bar at Kitty, and it's just him like gliding through the air, and it's just this.
Yeah,
It looks really. I have to get it up. It's like absolutely demonic.
Yeah.
Like what happens?
Yeah. What else did we write down about this?
Again, it's sort of because it's such like a mediocre film. There's not really much to say about.
It felt like
Yeah, I mean, it was fine, but
Yeah.
the twist, at the end where, because obviously Humpty betrays everyone because he wants to take the goose. That's what his initial plan was.
Yeah.
And then Puss in Boots is like, don't.
Don't take the goose.
Mm.
Basically, don't be a good person. He's
Yeah.
like, all right, you've convinced me.
Yeah.
Because then Jack and Jill take it because they're like, oh well, he's betrayed us, so we'll take the goose back.
It's sort of
So-
like it's like a follow up of them stealing the goose. Is basically there's like a mother goose up in the clouds who's gonna come and like take it back, but obviously she's gonna like destroy the city. So then Puss is like, I can't let. Whereas Humpty's like, screw the city, I don't like him. But then Puss is, as Kieran said, Puss is like, no, don't do that.
I think my two weirdest bits from the film is when they initially get up in the clouds and they've all got like the really high pitched voices.
Yeah.
That bit for some reason I was just like, what the hell is
That's
going on? Like, they
weird,
tried to
yeah.
explain it as like, oh, the low amount of air up here makes us have like helium voices, but I was just
It was a bit unnecessary. Well, they didn't really need.
But it's
to...
also again
It's
kids
a kids'
film,
film,
so
yeah.
it probably made
they
kids
probably
laugh.
laughed at it.
And the other thing was, I'm not sure if you picked up on it, the unnecessary amount of sexual tension between Puss and Kitty.
I mean,
For a kids' film.
Yeah, I definitely think there is. I think
Yeah.
that this is a good example. These two films are a good example of a kids' film trying to put like adult references and maybe it not working as well. But then Puss in Boots' second film is just
pulls it off a lot better.
and like incredible.
I
with
think it's
the
I think it's a lot better
Yeah.
at it because like there's bits in like Puss in Boots one where they're like one falls to the ground, the other like falls on top of them.
Yeah.
And I think Puss in
yeah.
Boots goes like meow. So,
Yeah.
and it's just like this is a kids film, please.
Yeah.
it doesn't do it in the best way.
It's towing the line a bit too much, I feel.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I do get it. I think like one thing as well that sort of leans to that is just like, and I made a note of like when we were watching it, it's just Antonio Banderas is like he's just like one of the best bits about it. Him as Puss in Boots.
I don't like the way he says Puss in Boots though. You know
Like,
when you
Puss
say
in Boots.
yeah, it's like when you say Gardener's World. So I say Gardener's World,
God,
and
what
Michael
is it?
says Gardener's World. Can you hear you can hear you know when you say something, it's like that's wrong.
There's a slight different inflection. on
Yeah,
it.
so Michael says Gardener's World, and I'm like, that's not it. It's Gardener's World. So Puss in Boots, I would say.
What
Puss
if I
in
said
Boots.
Gardener's World? Would that annoy you?
Yeah, obviously it would. But he says Puss in Boots, not Puss in Boots.
Yeah, but that's just like a pride thing, isn't it? Because he's like, I am Puss in Boots, like that's just his thing.
Yeah, but
I know,
just
like
really
that's just his thing. He's like so like
I don't
he's
like
just-
it.
Yeah,
Like announcing his presence. He's
yeah.
Yeah.
I am here. He's like
Yeah.
shouting to the room.
But yeah, I feel like he's always like consistently good whenever he plays like Puss in Boots, like, especially in, like like going from like the Shrek films, because this came after Shrek 4 as well. So it's always when he was obviously in those the 2, 3, and 4 Shrek films.
Yeah,
and then went to Puss in Boots, and then he's still doing it like now. So I just think he's really good. I really like his
I think
performance.
it's good that he's he's definitely the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort
The
of
best
like
thing about it.
I mean, the whole thing about
luckily.
Puss in Boots is obviously he's based on like a character from fairy tales, I guess, but then it's also taking a rip at Zorro, who Antonio Banderas played. So it's sort of like him trying to be like a new character, but then also leaning on like an old character he used to play. That's like because the whole thing of him doing the P with the sword is the Z in Zorro, so it's sort of him.
Yeah,
but no, I really like him. I like it.
Like Antonio Banderas.
I like saying his name. That's the thing. I remember when he was in Uncharted with Tom
You're going to say it in a
Holland.
good accent.
No, because I don't know what it is.
I thought about that. You just say it to yourself in the mirror.
It's like Candyman. If I say it enough times, he'll appear. But no, so I don't know why. It was just in Uncharted, because I always just think Antonio Banderas every time I see. I don't know. Because every time I see his name, I think it
Where
sees
is
into
he Uncharted?
in Uncharted the film.
In the film.
Yeah.
Oh, in the film.
Yeah,
yes, I forgot.
He's in it
about
for like
the film.
15 minutes. So then,
what a shame.
yeah, because he was like the best part about that film.
I can't
which was
believe
such a shame.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another day.
So I think all in all, then, so in Puss in Boots 1,
I feel like even though we've been talking for ages about Puss in Boots 1, I don't think we've actually said anything because it was just like
talking about Puss in Boots 1.
It's just a bit.
Yeah.
we're not. There's not really any
average.
good like critiques about it, is it? You sort of just talk
It's
about
not
like
really
that was
one
the
that you
thing.
can
That's the thing we watched.
Yeah, I feel like it was a film.
Yeah,
It was. Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't bad.
It was
It was
just.
just- yeah.
It was a
it's
film.
what
it was serviceable. Yeah, and as a kids' film, it is. It's
Yeah,
what you
it's
want.
a good kids film, but
Yeah.
not a good kids film that also like caters to an adult audience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess moving on to like the second film then, which is
Good film.
yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I loved it. I was absolutely beside myself in there. I was like laughing from the first minute. And I
Yeah.
even looked over at Kieran and he was smiling to himself. And I
Okay.
thought,
Rare
that's
moment.
nice. That's literally what I thought, because I don't normally sit right next to you. I'm normally like right in the corner.
Right.
But because I was sat next to you and I was laughing, I was like, well, just see if Kieran's laughing.
Yeah.
And you were. So there you go.
There we go.
I was spying on you.
But like, yeah, especially because like it's one that came out in the USA like back in December now, and obviously we're in February
We've
now.
been waiting for it for
So it's
ages.
just like because it's also like I feel like I would have benefited from like not just because like TikTok and like everything like on like YouTube and stuff's been talking about it. Like I've seen so many clips. I've literally like nearly seen the entire movie already. So it's all like, oh god, I wish we just got it like on release, like in December, then I could have watched it.
Does anybody know why there was such a delay?
Well, it's
in
like-
us
it's
getting
Because
it?
America wanted it first, and then
Because it was meant to come out in
They had
October,
problems.
and then it got pushed back, and then I think America got it. Because I got really confused because I was thinking, oh, have we just missed it? And then I looked up online. It
Yeah,
said
we thought we missed
October
it.
26th or something. So I was like, oh god, we've like missed it. We have to wait till the DVD comes out. But then I think I was speaking to you, and it was like, oh no, it comes out like February. So it's like,
Hmm.
what?
there might have been another release.
Yeah.
They might have not. Oh no, they wouldn't have done it because of Avatar. I don't know. Was there any other kids' films coming out?
Apart from that
No.
Disney Strange World, it's just a bit. It's just a bit of a
Yeah.
weird
That came
one.
out before as well. I think
Yeah.
that was November.
Yeah,
but I
it's
don't. Yeah.
really weird.
Don't know.
But
Maybe they just set a date and then they
maybe
America
they just
pushed
didn't
it
actually
forward.
realise that. Maybe they thought on, it almost like strikes me as they just said, look, we've got no expectations for this film, so just do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
don't we experiment a little bit? If it doesn't, it's going to make money anyway because it's
Yeah.
Puss in Boots, but let's experiment and just see that
Yeah, yeah.
strikes that sort of, because it
Yeah.
was very, just the animation style
Yeah,
was
yeah.
different from anything, because I know that people are saying it's like Spider-Verse with like the low frame rate
Yeah.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
actually like the paintbrush stuff where it looks like it's a painting,
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
new to me.
I think that's the first thing I want to talk about because that's like I watched Puss in Boots 1 yesterday and I watched 2 today, and the difference in the animation. Obviously, Puss in Boots 1 had the very stereotypical 10 years ago
Yeah.
DreamWorks,
Yeah.
and this is very unique. It's punchy. You
Yeah.
can really see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this animation style. Like
Yeah, it's
Spider-Verse
brilliant,
is, incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And this is like no different. Like when they're
Yeah.
doing like the battle scenes and stuff, the bit at the start with the big giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bit there, I know, like we've seen that animation like loads of times in the trailer, but it really does hold up throughout the
Yeah,
film.
no, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, it's good as well when, like, I remember when we were leaving and the credits were on, like, every bit of the credit was just a still from the movie. It wasn't, like, a special, like, end credits bit. It was like, no, these are literally just great shots from the film, which you just put with, like, the credits over it.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Like, it's so... It was really unique, I think, but in the best way as well. Like, they really,
Yeah,
like, kudos to that
I want
team.
this to be the way that kids animation goes forward.
Yeah.
Not like, like, I know this is a wild comparison, but like Coco Melon and things like that, where it's kind of like more CG. And
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that.
Yeah.
I want it to be this, where they're actually, you can tell there's like a lot of work gone into how it looks on the screen for the people.
Yeah. There's a lot of passion behind it, isn't there? And it's clear, and like artistry as well. Like, these people clearly know what they're doing. It's not just here's the same old template of rubbish that like even like Disney, they're not really doing as well at the moment, I think, with the films that they're bringing out. But it's because it's all the same. It's so refreshing to just watch something that's a bit different.
I think like DreamWorks has done, like, I think that Bad Guys film had like not the same animation style as Puss in Boots, but they started like branching out from your typical DreamWorks stuff, because like the first Puss in Boots was just, let's just do Shrek, like just take the Shrek animation style and just continue it because it's in that world, whereas this is like, we'll do different stuff. We'll do like so like low frame rate, we'll do like bits where the colours just like pop and there's like different contrast and stuff like that. With like all this different, but it looks visually like really, really,
it was amazing.
It's very
like clean. You can see why, because as an animated film it would be nominated for like an Oscar, so it's like
I was literally thinking like,
in terms of animation, I can't remember what the other ones in the categories were, but this needs to win.
Well, I remember saying when we did our Oscars episode last week, I was like, Pinocchio, give me our choice. He should win because the stop motion was brilliant. But this has changed my mind. I think that this
I don't know. Yeah, I think for me, I'd still want. I wouldn't be
mad if it won. But
I think between the two, I'd want either one to win. But I think I'd just want Pinocchio just because it is like the care and attention into like doing stop motion as well, and like because it is like the.
But I think this has probably had the same amount of care and attention and the level of detail that's gone into it.
Well, I guess just in terms of like
time
though, because stop motion, you are like positioning a character frame by frame, whereas like animation's a little bit, not as tedious or like as like involved, like that type of thing. So I mean, it's between the two. I'd want to see either one win, but I probably lean towards Pinocchio just because...
I'm glad that this has been nominated though. I'm glad it's getting the record because it deserves it. 100%.
So I guess just like go through. So the basic plot of this story is basically
very simple.
I was thinking
when we were watching.
That's so simple, right?
Well, it is. As soon as we came home, we watched like a somebody else's video review, and this is it's just a really simple story, but executed really well. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. This is so boring, but all I could think about was when I was watching Sewing Bee, and this lady made this dress, and they were like, "Oh, this is really simple, but it's so beautiful because it's been executed really well. Like you've not done a simple thing but executed it poorly. You've just done a simple story, but all the detail in it is what makes it good." And I think that's the key because it is basically all these different people really, apart from one side character, are trying to get this wish, and it's a bit like Stardust, isn't it? Where they're all trying to reach
it's essentially so Puss dies at the beginning of the film, finds out he's got his last life. So then he finds out there's this thing called the Last Wish, which is basically a fallen star. So it's they're basically, it's like a wish that'll give you anything you want. So he's thinking, I can go get all my life.
Meaning of a wish.
Yeah. Well, she was like, I can go get my lives back. So that's his like objective, is to go get that. But then he also meets Kitty Softpaws is back again. She's looking for her wish. They meet Goldilocks and the Three Bears, who's looking for their wish, and then little Jack Horner, big Jack Horner is there looking for his wish. So it's just it's your typical sort of treasure hunt race to the thing that you're looking for. Who's going to get there first. And that's why it's simple. That's it. That's the storyline. Apart from the side bit of it is Puss's last life, and death is after him, which is the wolf. Although he doesn't know it's death, he just thinks it's like a bounty hunter because he's still a wanted cat. But he is like, everybody's saying he's been the best thing in it, and I do think he's right. But I think that because he was used quite sparingly, I think that's what made it better.
As more like like I can't think of the word. Is existential? Is that the right word?
Yeah, like
He
an
was,
existential
like-
crisis.
He's
yeah.
like there as like a constant threat, but in Puss's mind more than
Yeah.
constantly there.
Yeah.
Because I love the bit where, like, you know, when they all converge on that one
Yeah.
bit, and like there's a battle and Puss is there, and then you like just see like the hairs like
Yeah.
go up,
Yeah,
and then it spins
yeah.
around and like
Yeah.
Death's there. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. It's
such a good like little bit where it's like
Yeah.
a big crisis battle, and then it just like everything like slows down, time
Yeah.
stops, and
Yeah.
like he's there.
Well, it's almost like that is life sometimes. Like sometimes something just stops you in your tracks and makes you think, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
life, like
Yeah.
I'm living, you know,
Yeah.
and like I got to live life to the full.
Yeah, because I mean, Death is after Puss in Boots because basically he has like squandered all of his like his previous 8 lives, and now he's on his final one. He's like, look,
Yeah,
you
he's
don't,
not
you clearly,
scared of death, is he?
yeah, he's
Because
like,
he
you
thinks it's
clearly
never
don't
gonna
take
come.
life seriously, so I'm just going to kill you rather than wait for you to die. And then like towards the end of the film, it's basically Puss goes, you know what, I'm going to like value this final life. So, and Death's like, you know, I'm going to have to like concede to you, like, you know, live your life, and I'll be
We'll
back
meet
basically.
again.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of the Deathly Hallows, you know, where it's the storytelling,
Yeah.
and they're saying, oh, you know, one wanted the Elder Wand, the other wanted the Resurrection Stone, and then the
Yeah.
other had the cloak and greeted death as an old friend. You know,
Yeah, when
that's
he-
almost
yeah,
like the
yeah.
vibe that I got from it.
Yeah, I mean that like everyone talks about Death. But I mean, it's well deserved because I mean, even that like opening scene where he's like in the pub with like Puss and Boots was just like brilliant. Like,
It was.
because I mean, again, it's all one of those clips you saw. I mean, I saw it all the time, and like his wolf whistle and stuff was like everywhere on the internet. So it's like
Yeah.
I knew what was happening, but like you watch it, it's like, oh my god, like because we were
Still
in
got
like
chills.
yeah, I mean, we were in like a we were in a children's like film. There were plenty of kids in there. I was thinking, oh, like he's quite like intimidating as like a
I'd be
character, you
scared of
know,
it
because
as
he's
a
just like this,
child.
you know, this big wolf, sharp teeth, red eye, like these, you know, really piercing like red eyes, and it's just like starts off really friendly between him and Puss because he thinks he's like, you know, it's like a fan or something, and then it turns more serious and like more
Well, at
intimidating.
the start, he thinks that he's just a bounty hunter,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
And that's why he's not scared of him.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they start to fight, and that's when
Yeah.
he
Because
gets the bit.
like the thing is as well that he like Puss in Boots has never been like touched by a blade.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the constant bit up until
Yeah.
we meet
Yeah.
Death, and then he gets that like first little
Yeah.
scratch, and then he's like, you know, the fear sets in.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I watched like a kids film where there was like blood in it, like because it was just
I
that he
don't-
like
it was
touches
only
his.
like a little bit, wasn't it?
There's a
But
tiny
Yeah.
bit,
it
Yeah.
was so effective though, just
Yeah.
to like see his face, and then that
because that
little
was pretty
trailer.
toe like
Toe in the
that
line,
was
yeah.
that was like the maximum they could
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. I bet it was.
But yeah, it's just brilliant. And then he like runs away, and then there's like that really great shot of like Death's shadow coming under the door, and like just you know him
that was
running
great.
away, and like
Yeah.
it's just again he's just brilliant as like a villain,
Yeah.
and like
just all the bits where like, you know, he's running through the forest and like they'll pan past some trees and they
Yeah.
form his face, and then
Yeah.
you can see the
Yeah.
like it's just
yeah.
so well done.
I think another part we probably need to talk about is the dog Peridito.
Perito, yeah, oh yeah,
Peridito,
yeah,
Oh, it just made me want to come home and
yeah,
and see Delilah and just go, oh, you know, oh, guys.
Because, like, you know, obviously, like, that kind of influence on Puss at the start,
Yeah.
he's very arrogant. He's like, no, just, like, get out of my face.
yeah,
But then, like, as you start getting along, and then, you know, that bit after Puss runs through the woods and he's having that panic attack.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, just
And you
such
know,
a,
it's
yeah.
like Perdito's like not sure what to do, so just like kind of rests
Yeah, yeah.
his head on Puss, and it's just like,
So
you know,
lovely.
the fact that they're kind of bringing that into like a kids
Yeah,
film
yeah, yeah, yeah,
is, you know, it's
yeah.
It's very like important at the moment, isn't it? Like there's a lot of talk about it. So I think it's just, but it's not like too like in your face. I think
Yeah.
some films
Yeah.
can be like, oh, you know, you've got to look after your mental health, but it's just like they ram
Well, I
it down
think-
your throats.
Yeah, I think Perito is like he is like the moral sort of compass for it because it's basically he is sort of the reason why Puss comes to like acknowledge like you need to live your life to the like live your
Yeah,
life
because he
well.
says, you know, I've only got one life, but
Yeah.
you know, I've got two best friends. You know, I've got
Yeah,
Puss and
yeah.
oh, he's just
Because he's like an optimist to like the point that he doesn't know like stuff in his own background was like
know.
really traumatizing. Because he's like he's just basically he was like abandoned as a puppy and his owners like practically wanted to just drown him and be rid of him. But he just came back and he thought, oh, we were playing a game and
yeah.
I
thought they
can't
were
find
playing
them.
hide
So
and
I'm
seek.
yeah
He's
yeah.
still it.
So he was one of like the shout out like standout characters like Perito.
Amazing.
I think it was all round a really good cast.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
It
think
was.
there was any of them like, you know, Goldilocks, the Three Bears,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Jack Horner, like all of them for me
Yeah.
just did really well, and
Yeah.
like there was none like when they came on screen. I was like, oh, no,
No, I mean,
they all really
Yeah.
like did an incredible job.
yeah, I think
Definitely.
what DreamWorks does well with its Shrek villains is it takes like a fairy tale character and does like explores more stuff with them. So like Jack Horner is obviously he's a
Well, they
can't-
say,
they-
well, that's the joke, isn't
Yeah.
it? Which was really funny, where they're like, "Oh, you're not even a fairy tale; you're just a nursery rhyme."
yeah,
And that
yeah.
was, I was laughing.
Yeah, so sort of like I mean, I feel like they do default to like crime boss quite a lot, but it works quite well because like
Yeah.
Jack Horner's a crime boss, Fairy Godmother was a crime boss, Rumpelstiltskin was a crime boss, like basically.
Yeah.
But it's just like he works really
just
well.
works, doesn't it?
Yeah, because like he's like the main antagonist of the film because his is a very like selfish goal and like not it wouldn't be good for anyone because his like wish would be I want to be like the most powerful, like I want to have all the magic in the world and be the most powerful.
Because he didn't have any magic.
And then
'cause
you
he's
got,
just a
like-
nursery rhyme.
Yeah, then you got like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, who's basically Goldie is sort of manipulating the bears a little bit because her wish, even though she makes it out like to be, oh, we're going to be rich, we're going to be this, that, and the other. It's mainly she was an orphan,
Wants
so
her-
she wants her own real family, not
Yeah.
this bear
I
family.
really liked Goldilocks and Three Bears
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
just loved all like the British,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though it was probably a
Yeah.
little bit like, but and then I didn't
Yeah.
realise it was Olivia Colman, and I just
Yeah.
thought
And
that
Ray
is
Winston,
perfect,
yeah.
absolutely
I knew
perfect.
it was Ray Winston
Yeah.
because I recognised the voice,
Yeah.
but I had no idea it was Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
So
I
that
didn't
was
until
quite-
the very end. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm glad it was her though, and it's like, oh yes, like I love a good
Yeah, Olivia
British
Colman.
actress,
Yeah.
and I do.
I
love
did
her.
find it quite funny, like the way that they kept doing that's too much this, that's too much that. Oh, that one's just
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
And they
yeah.
did that
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was gonna get old, but I
Yeah.
actually quite enjoyed it throughout.
was good,
No,
wasn't it? Yeah, and I just
Yeah.
loved where where he sits down to play the piano because he's trying to and they just start roll out the barrel, and I just thought it couldn't be more perfect than doing
Yeah.
that. I was cracking up at that.
Because like every side character works and they're all like fleshed out as well. Because like the bear, like even though Goldilocks is like the centre point of that group, like the bears have their own thing as well. Like the mother bear's like quite caring
Just
and
like good banter
They've all
between
Yeah,
got
yeah.
their own, like separate personalities and,
Yeah.
and bounce off each other very well.
Yeah, and then like baby
Yeah.
is like the sort of like baby bear is like the conflict between him and like, they're just like unruly like siblings basically. And they just
Yeah.
don't get like they sort of just muck around with each
get
other
along
and
but
then
don't get along at the same
yeah,
time.
but then they all like care for Goldilocks basically, and even when it's like her wish is to sort of get away from them, they're still like, well, we need to help her out, like because
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
if
like
this
her.
would make you happy, then
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
do it for you because they
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
love her. So
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
but no, it's very like a very heartfelt bits of
Yeah.
it.
I feel like it's got, I know kids films do go for a lot of these kind of, these are like moral values that you
Yeah.
need to have. But
Yeah.
I feel like this wasn't like a punch in the face. This was like,
Yeah,
It was just
like
tasteful.
Yeah, very tasteful way.
yeah,
to do it.
yeah. I think when you can when you can bring like something like death into like a kids film and like do it well, where you do just like you just make an actual character
Yeah.
like death,
Yeah.
It's not just like someone dies in the film and it's like, oh well, we need to think about this like death. It's like literally here's a person, like you can run away from him as much as you want, but he will catch
He's
up to
gonna
you
get
eventually.
you,
It's
so
just
you've gotta-
what you do in the time between.
Yeah.
Which like it was sort of reading stuff online. That's quite like an interesting thing whether they will do it like in the films, but if they do like make more and more like films, if there's going to be one where Puss does like die, like if it's like old age or something, and the wolf comes back, that'd be like pretty. That'd be pretty good. It'd be like I don't know if it'd like be ballsy for them to do it, but it'd be pretty like cool because now they kind of have set it up a little bit by saying like with him
he's
saying
gonna
I'll come back,
Yeah, I'll come back for you.
which would be interesting because I mean if they can do because it sort of leaves off after because they go to find the wish, basically they tear it up and defeat Jack Horner because he's like the big bad, and then
He is, yeah.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears go off on their own way. Puss,
Because they've had their arc, haven't
Yeah,
they? Of
yeah.
Goldie realises actually she doesn't
Yeah.
need the wish.
She's already got her
She's
family.
got
Yeah.
her family,
Yeah.
which is nice.
yeah, so they all sort of go their separate ways. I mean, Puss
And Kitty Softpaws,
yeah,
we've not even mentioned
oh no,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. Would you say, I mean, to be fair, we've not mentioned it. Would you say that she's like the least fleshed out character?
She has like the least probably.
backstory.
I don't know.
But we have already met her before in.
yeah,
I feel like it's kind of like a continuous development throughout the film. She's
Hmm.
like, her and Puss just bounce off each other.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
like, they've got the conflict, but it's not like there's not malice behind it. It's very, they're very friendly and bubbly despite everything that's happened.
Yeah.
They still
Yeah.
kind of reflect off each other quite well. And I think she's, good as a character. She helps lead things. She's not one-dimensional, like, you know, with that
No.
bit when she finds him in the woods and like
Yeah.
Puss is saying stuff to Pedito, and like, you know, she's kind of just standing there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just hearing
Yeah.
it. You know, she can, you know, I think she's done quite well.
Yeah.
I do as well.
Yeah.
And I do. I think they've got such like good chemistry, don't they?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like me, you, and Kieran. Me and you were Puss and Kitty Softpaws, and Kieran's Burrito.
I'm not sure I'm a hopeless optimist. I think I'm probably the inverse of still there.
But it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, kind of. So what I was getting at is it kind of finishes, and then it basically the last shot of the film is they're on a boat. So Perito, Puss, and Kitty, and they're basically like, "Oh, where are we going? Oh, I'm going to go see some old friends." And it's them coming up to far, far away.
far
So
away.
it's like setting up for like Shrek 5, I guess. So it'd be interesting again.
Do you know what? It's just one of those things where I hope to God that if they make it, they do it. That
Yeah.
they just that it's good.
You
Like,
can't-
I
yeah,
really don't
I
want
think-
them to ruin it.
I think you have to come off when you've gone this like high in terms of quality, like it's either the only way is down or you have to keep
Keep it
being
up.
consistent. Like if they make Shrek 5, it has to be on the same quality as Puss in Boots 2. Like even if
But
during
it needs to be on the same quality as Shrek 1 and 2. Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, everybody says that Shrek 3 is terrible, but I love Shrek 3.
Yeah.
We really like it.
Which one was Shrek?
the one with King Arthur.
Yeah, where they go
Oh, yeah.
to meet.
That's
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
that's where like Prince Charming.
Yeah, well, yeah, it takes
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
I love
he's-
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
one. We love that one as well. Everybody
Yeah.
says it's rubbish, and I'm like, what
mean,
are you on about?
The stuff where he goes over and gets Arthur is a bit
That's a
slow.
bit
Yeah,
boring.
But
yeah.
the stuff in Far Far Away where like
Yeah.
Charming is like bringing
And
all
they're
the
dropping the
villains
bombs,
together.
and
Yeah.
it's the performance, and
yeah.
oh, what's the line that we always used to sing?
From what?
What do you mean from? I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
no,
Google it
again, I can
later.
picture bits of it because, yeah, is it the what do you do? Oh, slice this thing up like a hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Who is this ugly fiend who did so cruelly into me? Oh, please rescue me from this
monstrosity.
monstrosity.
That's-
Is
But yeah, that was our thoughts and opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you very much for listening. I've been Tulip.
I've been Michael.
I've been Kieran.